Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex here with some Week 9 predictions, and I know this is going to be the first video made since Week 4, I believe, was when the last video was made. I've been in the middle of moving, plus really busy as of lately, plus with game day, with the game day for Extra Life last weekend, made things a little tricky there. As you can see, I don't have my backdrop or anything set up yet. So, it's going to be plywood for a little while. So, I think I did my numbers right. So, going into week 4, I was 33, 14, and 1. Week 4, I went 10 and 5. Week 5, close to 500, I was 8 and 6. Week 6, I was 9 and 5. Week 7, I was 9 and 5 as well. Week 8 was the worry spot because for the first 11 games, I was 3 and 8. Thankfully, I won those 3 games, so I finished 6 and 8. First time under 500 all year, but I followed it up with week 9 with my best week of the year at 11 and 3. So if you're keeping track, that puts my running total at 86, 46, and 1. I don't think I'm missing anything there, but I probably am. But beside the point, let's get on to week 9. So Thursday night, tomorrow, we've got the Colts visiting the Titans. I think this is going to be a close one. Titans did kind of get rocked by my Bengals a couple weeks ago. So I don't know. I do think the Titans are the better team here, but I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to take the Colts in this one. I think the Colts defense is actually one of the better ones in the NFL. I think we just saw it. They're one of the top 5 in points per game allowed and in interceptions this year. I think I could be completely wrong. I might have read that graphic wrong. But the Colts defense has been one of the better ones. The Tennessee Titans, really, their only weapon they have is Derrick Henry. Corey Davis has been about average this year. Who else do they have? A.J. Brown. I mean, he's always a good weapon. He's always a good target. But I think the Colts are going to be able to cover him pretty well. And, yeah, I think the Colts move on to 6 and 3. Titans fall to 6 and 2, or 6 and 3. Next up, we have the Eagles and the Giants. You would think this would be a boring game, being it's an NFC East game, but rivalry games are always exciting. With this one, I think I'm going to go with the Giants. Giants seem to be starting to make something work. I think they defend the home turf against the visiting Eagles, and I think Giants start to get on an upward trend here. I still think they finish with fewer than 6 wins this year, but I think they they legitimately have a shot at potentially taking the top spot in the NFC East this week. Next up, we got Jaguars and Packers. This is an easy pick for me. There's no way the Packers are losing this game at home. The Jaguars, they have a lot of work they got to do before they're really going to be competitive. As much as I love Gardner Minshew, I don't know if he's got the weapon or if he can succeed in this current setup in Jacksonville, and I don't know if he's going to be the answer long term. However, I just know he's still got one of the best facial hair, best mustaches in the NFL. So who knows? Maybe the Minshew magic will happen. All right. Next up, we got Washington football team visiting the Lions. Another battle between 2 last-place teams. I think I'm going to go with the football team on this one. I know, it's crazy going with the NFC East. But hear me out. The Lions' offense really doesn't have much, and the football team defense, they're slightly better than average. I do think is it Kyle Allen starting at the football team now? I'm pretty sure it's Kyle Allen. Either him or is it Alex Smith? Is he a starter now? I don't know. But I think the football team's offense is going to perform well in this game. And I think they take down the Lions and move on to 3 and 6. And then we have the Texans and the Browns. Any other year I would have taken the Texans, but I got to go with the Browns here. The Browns look like the better team. They look like one of the best teams in the average range in the AFC. I think they have a shot at the playoffs this year, and they might go to the playoffs, but I think they're going to be one and done if they do. Texans, however, even though they just signed a massive contract, they're rebuilding. The Texans have really seen what it's like post DeAndre Hopkins, sitting at a 2 and 6 record, not good. And I'm going to peg them to lose to the Browns in Cleveland. Cleveland going to move to 6 and 3 for what is looking to be their first winning season in at least 10 years. Yeah, I think I have to go with the Browns here, as much as I hate it. Next up, we have the Buccaneers and the Panthers, another rivalry game. I think the Bucs take this one, simply because Tom Brady, how often have we seen him have 2 bad performances in a row? He's coming off of quite possibly the worst showing of a quarterback I've seen since Nathan Peterman. I think they said his QB rating was a 3.8, which that goes up to 100. Yeah, I don't think he's going to have 2 bad games in a row. Panthers defense is suspect. As much as I like Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think he's going to be able to do enough to beat this Buccaneers team. So I think I'm going to have to go with the Bucs on this one. All right, moving into our later games, we got the LA Chargers visiting the Dolphins. Both teams are looking really good right now. Justin Herbert's having a Rookie of the Year caliber year. But I think I'm going to stick with the Dolphins here. I think the Dolphins go 6-3. It's crazy, right? Dolphins seem like they're heating up at just the right time. So far, Tua's looking pretty solid. He's held his own against 2 pretty solid teams, pretty decent teams. And he did outscore the Cardinals. And Kyler Murray with DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk. Not bad for a rookie. He's doing well. Chargers, as I said, Justin Herbert looks like he's gonna have a shot at Rookie of the Year. I still think that honor is gonna go to Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow is breaking records. It's kind of hard to go against that, but I do think Herbert's gonna be the long-term answer in the LA. I do think they win a couple more games this year, but I don't see them winning more. I don't see them finishing more than 2-9 or 7-9. That's my prediction for the Chargers. Next up, we got the Broncos visiting the Raiders. Raiders are the solid pick here. It's a lot of rivalry, or a lot of in-division games this week. The Raiders are looking like a pretty solid team right now. Now Derek Carr seems like he's wanting to prove me wrong about saying that he's not the best answer in Las Vegas now. Josh Jacobs is top 5 rushing this year. And Derek Carr is still performing really well behind what is seeming to be a pretty solid offensive line. Broncos, on the other hand, they're okay. I do think this is going to be a good game just because it's a rivalry game. But I don't see the Broncos being good enough to take down the Raiders. I think the Raiders also moved to 6-3 week. A lot of 6-3 teams. I do think the Derek Carr and the Raiders are going to have enough here. Next up, we got the Bills visiting the Cardinals. This should be a good one. The Bills lead the AFC East for the first time in how many years? And the Cardinals are competing with Seattle for the lead. They're competing with Seattle and LA, and they're only 1 game ahead of the San Francisco. Easily the best division in football. But this one, I'm going to have to go with the Bills because Josh Allen is pretty on fire right now. It might not seem so after, I believe, they lost after the loss to the Titans, who then lost to the Bengals. Might not seem like it, but Josh Allen is having an MVP caliber year, and I think he's going to torch that suspect Cardinals defense. Yeah, there's not much to say on this one. I like Arizona, and I do think they're going to finish well. I do think they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they fall to 5-4 this game as the Bills improve to 8-2. Next up, we have the Niners and the Saints. Another easy pick for me. I'm going to have to go with the Saints here. Last week, we did see George Kittle and Jimmy Garoppolo exit the game. I haven't looked into with their injuries, if they're severe or what, but either way, the Saints are going to light up that defense. The defense, which was one of the best last year, been riddled with injuries. I don't think it's going to be enough to stop Drew Brees. We've got Michael Thomas back now, and Alvin Kamara. I think they're going to just torch that defense. There's no hope for a low-scoring game in New Orleans. Sorry, Niners. Next up, we have the Seahawks and the Rams. This one's going to be a good one as well, but I think I'm going to go with the Rams here. And my reason behind that is the Seattle defense is really questionable. Only reason they're staying in as many games as they are and have won as many games as they are is because Russell Wilson put the team on his back and is performing with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, they're all putting up huge numbers this year, but the defense is giving up too many points for that to be completely sustainable. I think the Rams are going to take this one. I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I'm going to say at least 60 points combined. So there's my prediction for that one. It's going to be a fun game to watch, probably game of the week. Next up, we have Cincinnati visiting Pittsburgh. This one, I'm going to be crazy here. No, I'm not going to say Cincinnati wins the game. I'm going to have to pick the Steelers here. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Cincinnati squeak out a win here and hand the Steelers their first loss. My reason being is, well, just last week we saw Pittsburgh go toe-to-toe with Dallas. Dallas just about shocked the world and shut down the Steelers. Now, my thinking is Cincinnati is better than Dallas. Now, the records might not look it. I think Cincinnati might actually be half a game ahead of Dallas. But right now, Cincinnati looks like they're rebuilding, and they're actually doing a pretty good job at it. They did just sign... what's his name? They signed a new defensive end out of, I think, Tampa. So that should help a little bit. They did have 4 new starters last week against the 2 weeks ago against the Titans. Hopefully, being a Bengals fan, hopefully those 4 start again. That was the best protection we've seen for Joe Burrow in his entire career. And if they could do that again, I think Joe Burrow is going to put up some pretty solid numbers against Pittsburgh. Obviously, being without Joe Mixon is hurting, but Giovanni Bernard is performing very well. And I think I don't think it's going to be a blowout like everybody else is predicting. I think Cincinnati keeps this within 1 score. But I do think Pittsburgh is going to have the upper hand here, just being the more complete team. Pittsburgh does lead the AFC overall. They are the number one seed, and they are the number 1 seed for a reason. They have the best record, and they've probably got the most complete team. But either way, I think this is going to be a very fun game to watch. And I know I'm going to be flipping between the Seattle and the Cincinnati game. Next up, we have the Ravens and the Patriots. This one's an easy pick for me. I don't like either team, but the Ravens are the more complete team here. I think Baltimore is going to torch New England. I think New England loses by at least 2 scores and maybe even a field goal as well, so 17 points combined. Baltimore is looking really solid. They only play weak against Pittsburgh. Let's be real with that. I think Lamar Jackson's going to he's going to be accurate as can be against New England. New England doesn't really have much for him, especially being new quarterback who isn't looking as MVP caliber as he was once assumed to be. 8 starters out with opting out. Injuries throughout the year. It's going to be rough. If New England manages to win this game, I'll eat my words. But I think Bill Belichick falls to 2-6, and Baltimore improves to 7-2. Baltimore, I think, is going to be realistically the only team in the AFC North who's going to have a shot at taking down the Steelers from that top spot. Either way, the AFC North is shaping up to be one of the more exciting divisions, and I'm not biased in any way. All right, last up for the week, Monday night, 8:15. We've got Minnesota visiting Chicago. This one's going to be a toss-up for me because both teams are looking really good. Vikings are 3-5, but their record doesn't show how good they really are. I mean, they've made some shocking plays. Dalvin Cook is coming off back-to-back incredible performances. He's got close to 400 yards and 7 touchdowns or something like that in the last 2 games. I think Dalvin Cook just keeps on rolling. I think Minnesota wins this game and gets the upset. And they reel in the Bears for that number 2 spot. It's going to be an exciting one to watch, but I don't think Chicago is going to be completely ready for Dalvin Cook. I think Cook is going to go off for at least 100 yards, and I'm going to say 2 touchdowns. That's my guess for that one. But yeah, I think Minnesota's got this one. I don't follow both teams as good as I should, but I know that both teams are looking pretty all right this year. So, there are my picks. We'll see how right I am, and we'll see if I have a chance to break. I have a chance to break 100 wins this week, but I'd need to be perfect because I'm pretty sure there are only 14 games this week. But anyway, guys, if you guys like this video, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to help the channel grow, hit the share button. Share to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you feel right. Make sure you go follow my Twitch page. Also linked down below because I'll be streaming there a lot more often. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye, everybody.